Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. As you know, it is Sunday and we like to do reviews on Sunday. I want this to be an informative channel, so I'm going to inform you guys on the salary a single person needs to live comfortably in all 50 states. Only 2 of them are over $120,000. Let me know what you guys think about that. Only 2 states you need over $120,000. I don't know if that's true. Things are expensive almost everywhere, but maybe we're talking about one person. Maybe we're not talking about a family, but let's just check out this article. Before we even start though, how much is your take-home pay if you make $120,000? I have ADP Paycheck calculator. I always use this thing for my check. My weekly, let's say salary. You guys should use this just to see how much you're gonna make. State, Maryland. That doesn't matter. Benefits, medical, $200 a month. Retirement, we're not even gonna look at retirement right now. So in somewhere like Maryland, if you made $120,000, this is how much you would take home after taxes, after Social Security, Maryland state income tax. You'll take home about $6,000 a month. That's before your 401k, that's pretty good number. I'm not gonna lie. $3,000 to live in Maryland. I think that could make you last, and that's only for one paycheck. So say rent is about $2,000. I think that's not bad. So let's see what they're talking about in this article. It says Americans earning a regular salary may have trouble living comfortably in all 50 states. The median annual wage for individuals was just below $62,000. So they're saying bi-weekly people are making just about $1,700 a paycheck, which is not a lot of money. It takes a salary of at least $80,000 for a single adult to live comfortably in West Virginia. Now, who's gonna be making $80,000 in West Virginia? Because West Virginia is a low income state, so I doubt there's a lot of jobs that's gonna be paying you $80,000. How much does someone make making $80,000? Let me see. About $4,000 a month. It depends how much rent is, how much groceries are, how much transportation. We always talk about the big 3. You want to make sure those are taken care of before you even think about anything. You want to make sure your housing, your transportation, and your food is taken care of. Basically all your necessities. And I believe that you can actually probably live on $4,000 a month in West Virginia. But are people actually making that in West Virginia? I don't know. Smart Asset defines comfortable as earning enough to follow the 50-30-20 budgeting rule. And this is something that we follow, the 50-30-20 rule. So 50% of your income goes towards essentials, rent, food, insurance, car insurance, all your essential things, gas. That should be no more than 50% of your income. So if you make $4,000, then you need 50% of that, which is $2,000, to go to your necessities. That's kind of difficult when you think about it. If you make $4,000, you live in a place that rent itself is $1,500, $2,000, you're already outside of your limits when it comes to the 50-30-20 rule. So it definitely depends where you live, and it definitely depends how you set your life up. Maybe in a place like that, you have to have a roommate, or you have to have multiple roommates for your budget to actually fit the 50-30-20 rule. 30% goes toward discretionary spending, which is your wants. So 30% goes towards going out to eat. 30% goes towards entertainment and things like that. And then 20% goes towards debt repayment and savings. Hopefully we are out of debt, and a lot of people aren't, so we're probably not out of debt. We are still in debt. We just have a car and we still have student loans that we'll be paying off completely this year. That is the goal for 2026, to pay off all of our debts this year. And it's not a lot, but we just want to get out of the way while we're in our 20s. So in our 30s, 40s, 50s, we just focus on growing our income, growing our savings, growing our investments, and live life without having to worry about debt. So 20% going to debt repayments and savings. 20% is a good monthly amount to save. If you're able to save more, then definitely do it. It used the latest estimates from Massachusetts Institute of Technology, living wage calculator to estimate individual costs of necessities in each state. On the other side of the spectrum, from West Virginia, residents in Hawaii needs to earn a minimum of $124,000 a year to live comfortably. That's insane. Now, with my job, I was looking at Hawaii. I thought Hawaii could be an option. I was like, oh, that'd be cool to live in Hawaii. Make $124,000 in Hawaii. About $6,000 a month is very doable. I feel like maybe. How much is rent going for in Hawaii? Let's actually check. We're going to go apartments in Honolulu. We're going off the rails. This is literally what I do all day. Oh, it's not terrible. So this is, oh no way, $2,300, $799 for a 4-bedroom. That's a roommate situation. $1,975 for a studio, $2,000, $1,300 for a studio. That's not bad. Studio, a bed, $1,200, $1,595 for a studio, but you have to make $124,000 in Hawaii. What's the average salary in Hawaii? Our salary in Hawaii is $6,000 to $8,000, while the median household income is $95,000. So majority of the people don't even make $124,000, but yet that's what you need to make to live comfortably in Hawaii. The highest of any state in the one of two states, along with Massachusetts, where individuals need to earn at least $120,000 a year to afford a comfortable lifestyle. Now, this can be possible if you have a two household income, and say one person makes $60,000, the other one makes $60,000. That's $120,000, and that's what I feel like people need to do to be able to live in these states. And this is the reason why I don't think I would be interested in living in these high cost of living cities, because I'd rather live in a low cost of living city like the Midwest, maybe down south, depending where you are, definitely, and live a comfortable life instead of both of us having to ensure that we don't lose our job, because if one person loses their job, then we can't make it work here. I'd rather live somewhere where I can make it work for myself, and then we have additional income coming in, and then we're able to save, invest, go on vacations, and it's a lot less stress than living in, say, somewhere like New York or California, which would be really nice if you made well above the salary needed to live there. I don't know if I could live in these high cost living areas. How are people doing it? I don't mind having a roommate. We house hack, so we basically have a roommate. They're in a different apartment than us. I would not want to have a roommate for the rest of my life, especially if I'm not able to reach these incomes that I need to live there. I'm going to have a roommate for the rest of my life, but I would not look forward to something like that. So in Alabama, income needed for a single adult is $85,000. I'm going to scroll through these. You guys look at them as I scroll. I'll mention some I won't mention. Kind of look at where you're living and think about, are you making this much money? Are people in your area making this much money? Is this much money enough to live comfortably in your state? So Alabama, $85,000. I don't know how many people are making $85,000 in Alabama. Alaska, I know that's expensive. Arizona, 101. That's the income needed. Not saying this is the average, not saying this is the medium. This is what they're saying is how much you need to live comfortably in these states. Arkansas is a low income state. California, 119. I don't believe that. Maybe in certain parts of California, but nah. Because rent out there is at least $2,000 and $2,500. And homes out there are at least $600,000. I don't think 119 is making it work. Unless you have a roommate, you can definitely make it work. Someone splitting rent with you. Colorado's expensive. Connecticut, 105. Florida, 97,000. Depending where. Like, I think that this is taking the median of the whole state, because there's no way you're living off 97,000. When we already saw what 120 is, there's no way 97,000. Depends how much your insurance is. Depends how much your property taxes is. How much your mortgage, how much your rent is. How much that 50, 30, 20 rule works in your favor. How much do you spend on housing? How much do you spend on gas? How much do you spend on food? Always 98,000, 86,000. I'm kind of seeing a trend that to live comfortably in the U.S., you're going to have to be making about $100,000 anywhere. They're saying $85,000 in Louisiana. How many people are making $85,000 in Louisiana? Or, where was that? We haven't got to yet. Mississippi. Let's see what Mississippi says. There's Michigan. $86,000. Like, who's making $86,000 in Mississippi? That's a lot of money, dude. And that's a low income state. There's a lot of low income cities in Mississippi. But like I said before, if you have a two household income, it's definitely a possibility. Nevada, New Hampshire, New Jersey. And let me know in the comment section if you see your state in here, if you make that much money, or if you know someone that makes that much money, if you believe that if you made this much money, you live a comfortable life in your state. North Dakota, 82,000. It's a minimum of $80,000 people need to live comfortably in all these states. And we just round it up to 100,000. Oh, this is for a single adult. This is not even for two couples. This is what one person needs to make. Wow. This is a lot of money. West Virginia is crazy. 80,000 in West Virginia. While the 50-30-20 budget can be an effective tool to manage your money, it can also be difficult to follow if you have high fixed costs. And this is what I was talking about in the video when I was talking about emergency funds. If you have a hard time saving for an emergency fund, then your cost of living could be too high, because you need to save 6 months of rent. You need to save 6 months of groceries, 6 months of insurance, 6 months of gas, 6 months of car payments. And it could be $15, $20, $30, $40,000 for a 6-month emergency fund if you have a high fixed cost of living. So if you're able to lower your cost of living, live with a roommate, house hack like we do, don't get a car payment, have low insurance, shop around for car insurance so you can have the lowest insurance, you can save for your emergency fund a lot faster because you don't have to save $40,000. You might have to save $10,000 or $15,000 because your expenses are so low. And though data suggests wage growth nationwide is actually outpacing price of inflation, which I don't know about that. Example, us. We got a raise, but guess what? Insurance also rose. We were paying $300 some a paycheck for insurance, and it went up to like $350. And then we get a 1% raise. So you're always going to be behind because things are always going to go up. Insurance is going to go up. And then homeowners insurance is going to go up. Taxes is going to go up. So I don't know if wages are outpacing inflation. Maybe in certain areas, but I do not feel that. And exactly, many Americans don't feel that way. About 7 in 10 Americans feel stressed about their finances. Boosting your income by switching jobs, getting side hustles may be easier said than done, but it can give you some breathing room in your budget. If you need to have 2 jobs, especially in this economy, any economy, if you need to have 2 jobs, get 2 jobs. There's nothing wrong with it. You have to grind, you have to hustle if you want to be able to save for your future. If you want to be able to retire early, you have to be able to make more money. And having a second job is the best way to do that. This is a great story too. If you guys ever look them up, I actually did a review on that. They're killing it. Absolutely killing it in the military. It's crazy how much benefits you get with the military. It is insane. That is the article for today. Like I said, this is a little bit different, maybe a little bit slower pace. We're not looking at a video. We're talking about an article. We're giving some tips. We're looking at just what's going on in the U.S. How much do you need to make in every state? I want this to be an informative video because these are things that I just love to do. I love to look at different salaries. I love to look at how much I'll be making if I were to live in another state. I love to look at these hypothetical things just to kind of have ideas of what life look like at different ranges or different places. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Do you think that these salaries were like proportionate to these states? Are people making $80,000 or more in every state? Is the average person making $80,000 or more in every state? I don't think so. I don't think there's a lot of people making $80,000 in Mississippi. I don't think there's a lot of people making $80,000 in Louisiana, but that's how much they said you need to live a comfortable life in those states. So let me know what you guys think about this video. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, you got some out of it. And if you did, leave a like, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.